welcome back to our channel and welcome to today's video. I'm Heather.
And I'm Cheryl, and we're Canvas and Peach Studios who specialise in newborn and wedding photography.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, and that means you won't miss any of our future uploads.
If you don't already, make sure to give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with us daily.
Today we're going to be talking to a few different humanists and celebrants. We're going to be finding out how to plan your ceremony, and we'll be asking them loads of other questions.
We really hope this video is useful to you. Let's go into the video.
Morning George, how are you?
Good morning Heather, good morning Cheryl. I'm great, thanks. So thanks so much for inviting me onto this call today. I'm really excited about sharing my Humanist Celebrant experience with you.
I'm very excited too. There's so much more we want to know all about humanist ceremonies.
There's so many questions, so many things to say, so let's dive into it.
What is a humanist wedding ceremony?
It's a good question, Heather. A lot of people ask that, and I think if I could sum it up, it would be that essentially it's a non-religious ceremony. So that's the first thing to say. And it is the celebration of bringing two people together and joining their life in a legal marriage ceremony. And the great thing about a humanist wedding ceremony is that it's so personal, bespoke, and unique to the couple. So I pride myself in making sure that I really involve the couple, and it's a real team effort between the three of us to create the ceremony from scratch and make sure they get the final say on every word that comes out of my mouth. Now, of course, I'll give them all the guidance and support that they will need to make all the decisions along the way in terms of the structure. But ultimately, I want them to feel really involved and connect with me, of course.
No, I think it's really nice to do poems. Like I did that at my wedding, and I came up with my own wee poem. I wrote about my parents and my grandparents, and then also me and Scott. And then I rounded it up into like a nice wee way. It was just like appreciate everything that you have and love your family, and like it was so nice to do. And everyone absolutely loved it, so it was really cute.
Hi Rachel, it's so lovely to have you on our Zoom call today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Rachel from Middleton Life Celebrations, and also part of the TLC Faith, who authorises me to conduct legal marriages across Scotland. A little bit about me is I am mad on sci-fi and musicals, and I love watching TV. I love talking about TV, and you'll see my friend here who's been on every single Zoom call that I've done throughout this lockdown, so there's no way that I could not have him in the call today. The biggest part for me when I'm trying to do ceremonies is really just to get to know what kind of passions and hobbies people have in their lives, so that I can bring that into their ceremony, because a wedding ceremony doesn't need to just be about the love that they have between each other. It's about all the things they do together, the things they look forward to together. And if that is a midnight viewing of Star Wars, then I am right on that. I am with you. Let's do this. It can be stuff that I'm not that into, but you guys really are. So football and sport of any kind is not something that I can even bother to get to do at all. But I love it if you love it, and I love talking about it. And if you follow all the games and you travel across Europe to go to all the games that you love going to, and you go together, I want to know all about that. I want to know about what makes it buzz for you guys and what's so great about it. So for me, in terms of ceremonies and who I am and what I like doing, it's about getting to know you in entirety, and not just you as a couple and how you got together, but everything that you do together.
Is it normal to be nervous?
So on your wedding day, it is absolutely 100% normal to be nervous. And I would argue if you're not nervous, then you maybe want to think about that, because this is a huge thing that you're doing. It's massive. It's going to change the rest of your life for the better. It's awesome. But those nerves, they're there to help you on what is a super long day. I know people say that it passes in the blink of an eye, but actually, if you think about it, you're getting up at like 6, 7 in the morning, which is earlier than I would ever get up anytime. 6, 7 in the morning. That's even if you've managed to sleep the night before, because let's be honest, you're going to be excited. You're not really going to have slept that much. So you're up at 6, you're busy getting ready. Everything's your bridal suite or wherever you're getting ready, there's people everywhere, there's makeup artists, there's hair, there's your photographers, your videographers, everyone wants a piece of you. So you're busy from the minute you get up. right the way through to your dancing till 3, 4 in the morning. And if you're going to have a proper Scottish wedding, maybe even 6, 7 in the morning. So that's a really long time that you're going to be up for. So those nerves help you through what is a really long day. They power you through and make sure you enjoy every minute of it. So nerves are really helpful. But what I would say is there's also some unhelpful nerves too. So unhelpful nerves are the ones where, what do I do? And what do I say when I get up there? And where do I look? And what do I do with my bouquet? And where does my dress go? Where do the girls stand? Where do the guys stand? For the groom, perhaps, when do I turn? Do I turn? Is that something I want to do? So these are all what I would say is unhelpful nerves. And those can all be taken away by just walking through everything, either doing a rehearsal if that's what you'd like to do. I personally love to get to your venue, bring the guys along, bring the girls along, bring your parents too. I love meeting the parents. They always let little things slip that I want to have in the ceremony. So bring the parents and we can all just go through it. We can just walk through those motions so that on the day you don't have to worry about what way do I face and when do I turn, because you'll know all that. And you can just sit there thinking about all the lovely nerves that are to do with, oh, I'm so excited, what's he going to look like when he sees me, what's she going to say, what am I going to say, what's it going to be like when we kiss. You know, all of those nerves are great nerves to have. So sometimes I think when we're looking at nerves, we want to not look at them in a negative way. They're great. They help you. They're there for you. But let's take away some of those unhelpful nerves. And if we don't have a rehearsal, because not all venues allow them, or maybe there's not always time and you've maybe got people coming from quite far away, so we might not be able to do a rehearsal. But on the day of the wedding, your celebrant should really come down to you and just walk through everything, chat to all the bridesmaids, make sure they know exactly what they're doing, so that we can take away some of those nerves as well. So even if you don't do a rehearsal, we can get rid of those nerves, but keep all the exciting ones that are going to power you through your very long day. So that's what I would say about nerves. They are your best friend.
My mum always used to say that to me when I was younger. She used to say, nerves are your energy. Always, if you're not nervous, then you're not going to do it right. So anytime I've got nerves, I'm always like, right, that means I'm ready. So yeah. I love your response. So George, how do you feel when you work with photographers and videographers? Do you tell them they're restricted on like where they're standing, anything along those lines?
Well, you know, for me, this is one thing that I really like the couple to know, that me, yourselves, videographers and the wedding coordinator are completely in sync during that 30-40 minutes or however long the ceremony is. And one thing I always do, if I've worked with photographers like yourselves before, then obviously I'll give you a wee message and say, hey, it's me and you again next Saturday at such and such's wedding or whatever. Or if I've never worked with a videographer or a photographer, I'll also give them that message just a little bit before, because in my pre-meeting with my couples, that's the sort of information I like to know, is who is your photographer, who's your videographer, as well as all the other information that I need to construct a ceremony. In terms of restrictions, you know, I'm very laid back. I like to know where maybe static tripods are going to be, in terms of, does that kind of in my way, because I like to feel comfortable with the distance between me and the couple, so they've got a bit of personal space, etc. Cameras, and you could tell me more about this, but modern day cameras are noisy, whereas in the past you could hear 1,000 clicks. And that at the wrong moment, that could be quite off-putting for me, reading out a particular sentence or passage or something like that during the ceremony. So no, I'm very relaxed from the beginning. It's always with the couple in mind, and really making a connection with you guys is really important to me.
It's definitely, cameras nowadays are like 100% more quieter. We've actually got like a really a good button on our camera, and it does silent shooting. It's so good, and it means that you don't hear anything. It's really less distracting and a lot better as well. But most of the time we find that most humanists are pretty amazing with us when it comes to restriction, because obviously you guys care about the couple, if that makes sense, and you want them to have like memories that last for a lifetime. And we've seen that with many humanists and celebrants. Like, everyone tends to be pretty relaxed about it, which is really nice.
Good afternoon, guys. So we are sitting here with Alan. He is a humanist from Independent Humanist Ceremonies, and we are going to have a wee chat with him about all the different things and all the questions that we have.
So, hi, I'm Alan Barr. I am a lover, not a warrior. Love weddings. I'm a family wedding fan. Married to Linda for 11 years. She's well out my league, just in case you can hear me. 2 little kids. Benjamin and Leila. I've worked in weddings since 1993 when I was a wee guy. I'm a Humanist Celebrant, as you know. I can conduct weddings right throughout Scotland and 12 miles into the sea, just in case anyone's getting married on a boat. Proud 4 times Vows Award winner, Outstanding Achievement winner in 2017. You know, look great in a kilt, all that type of stuff. That's it. That's me.
Alan, the couple are going to have a really small wedding or an elopement. Can you provide witnesses?
Yes. So the witnesses, often it's been photographers, it's been wedding planners. It depends on, you know, how small the elopement is, you know, but if it's a couple of people, usually they'll ask for us to bring somebody along, or, you know, help. I've brought my pals along before, and as long as the people who are witnesses, as long as it's not me or the couple getting married, as long as they are 16 or over, and able to understand what is going on at the wedding. So if somebody's drunk, they're not allowed. They're subbed out. So if it's just a guy hanging off the end of a bar somewhere, it's like you maybe need to get somebody else. So it does help if that can all be organised beforehand, because you'd never want to just roll up and you've not got witnesses, so therefore you can't conduct the ceremony. It just can't happen that way. But yeah. So I can help with that type of stuff. Yeah.
So will the couple be given the chance to read over and change the wedding ceremony script?
You know, one of the things that is really important to me is that the couple are involved from the beginning. So when I meet my couples, and there's a variety of ways that I communicate with people, it's in person, it's on video chats, it's by email. One of the nice cute little things that I do right from the moment people book me is I set up a WhatsApp group between the 3 of us. And even if it's 2 years out, it doesn't matter. I want them to have the ability to just drop a note, and I always say, it doesn't matter how daft your question is, if it's not even related to the ceremony, I'll probably know somebody in the industry that will get you an answer. So once we've met, or we've texted, or we've emailed, and we've got all the information for the ceremony, I put together a first draft, which goes into the detail of who's the bridal party, who's walking down the aisle first, second, third, right, where they stand, to the left, to the right. Are they sitting down after the introductions, keeping standing after the introduction? You know, really, it's like a play. When you read back my ceremonies, it's almost like looking at a play script. The couple then read over the ceremony, which includes their story, of course, the symbolic gestures and everything about that we've agreed during our meetings. And they get an opportunity to then say, you know, George, great, we love it, signed off. Or actually, George, I know we talked about this section on our meeting, but it doesn't really read that well to me. Can you take it out now? You know, I'm totally flexible. And I think it's important that my couples know that, so that they can understand that it's not just a once-off job and that's it, we're done and dusted.
So the next question is, what is your favourite part about the ceremonies that you take?
But if I'm completely honest with myself, I absolutely love hand fasting. I think it's my favourite. Visually, I think it's really obvious what we're doing, and when we're bringing 2 clans together and tying that knot. But for me, I like to do it whilst we're doing our vows to each other. So whilst the couple are making their promises to each other, I like to bind them together. And then when we do the hand fasting, so when we pull to tie that knot, every single one of their promises is wrapped up and entwined in that knot, and they can keep it forever. And they know that the moment that knot was tied was the moment that they chose to spend the rest of their lives together. So for me, if we're doing hand fasting, I definitely think that's probably my favourite part. And it's something I would have loved to have done when we got married, but I actually didn't know about it. I didn't know it existed, because a little known fact about me is that I grew up in England, don't you know? Actually, I've seen it before. So when I became a wedding coordinator and I was watching, that's when I was totally fell in love with hand fasting. And so now, probably 99% of my couples do it, and I think it's probably me going, do it, because I love it.
If you describe it the way you just described it there, I can guarantee you all your clients will go for it, because I have, again, goosebumps, and I'm nearly greeting. I'm like, oh!
I know, I got emotion. I definitely got emotion when you said that. See, the tying the knot and all your promises are locked in there. I feel like that was just so powerful, the way that you described that. I mean, it was just, very emotional.
What is the most shocking moment you've had at a wedding?
Most shocking moment? There's one which is just like popping into my mind, which is the one I'm going to talk about. This couple were getting married maybe 2 years ago now, and the like, so we're doing a quaich ceremony, right? So the quaich, so it's like this we get, right? So you drink from a quaich, and everyone has a drink, but you can put anything into it. Like, you know, some people will put like whiskey in, or like a gin and tonic or whatever. This groom was adamant that he wanted Jägermeister in the quaich, right? So I was kind of like, oh, it's quite dark. Jägermeister, right, you know, bride, a lovely expensive white dress. It's not my choice to make. Sometimes. So true to form, they put, you know, it's full of Jägermeister, like full to the brim. This is quite sizable. This is beside my big dome, right? So it's big size. It was full. So he went first, and what he hadn't considered was that so if you take a shot of something, if you drink a shot, it's like a wee glass, and you're like, it's like a different action. You're like, in there, right? Whereas he took this big gulp, like a mouth full of Jägermeister, and he kind of like, he wanted to obviously spit it out, he couldn't, and he ended up like kind of snottering onto the bride, the top of the bride's dress. And I was like, oh. She saw it, he saw it, I saw it, and I thought, man, this guy is dead.
Do the couple have to do personal vows, and do they need to top loads? Because that's an interesting one.
So what I would say about this one is, on your wedding day, we need to get the couple to the most comfortable that we can possibly get them. Now, as I said before, you're never going to be 100% comfortable, because this is the biggest day of your life and the most exciting thing that you've probably ever done, and all of your friends and family are there to celebrate you. You're in these outfits you wouldn't normally wear, so you're never going to be 100% comfortable. And again, we don't want you to be, because we want those lovely nerves to power you through the long day. But what we really want to do in your ceremony especially is to try to get you as comfortable as we can. So if you do not feel comfortable doing a lot of public speaking, then what we want to do is limit that as much as we can, because I want my couple standing up there and hearing every word and taking it all in and enjoying it as well. Whereas sometimes if you're worried, oh, I've got to say this later, I've got to say this, all you're thinking in your head is, she's going to ask me to speak in a minute and I'm scared. And what we don't want that. What we want is you to be able to listen to every word that's being said about your life and about your relationship and about how much you love each other. Now, you're paying a celebrant to do the work for you. So, I mean, there's that old saying, don't have a dog and bark yourself, my friend. So, your celebrant can convey as much or as little as you feel comfortable letting show on your wedding day. So if you want to write your own vows, but you don't necessarily feel that comfortable with reading them out, then your celebrant can read them out on your behalf for you. I would also say as well, you and your partner, you're not the same person, so you have different strengths. So one of you might be absolutely fine to get out that soapbox and write some Shakespearean poetry and read it out on the day. And fine. And the other one might be like, I do. That's okay, because you're not the same person. And what we want to do is capture who you are and what you want to say, and whether that's you saying it or your celebrant saying it, or maybe not saying it at all. I've got one couple who they're going to write beautiful letters to each other in the morning, and they're private and they're just for them, and that's perfect. They don't need to get up and stand in front of all their friends and family and make these promises and dedications to each other, because they're already going to do that in the letters that are just for them. So, you know, when we're looking at putting the ceremony together, what we want to do is, what are you most comfortable with, and what's going to make you have the best time whilst you're standing up there. So whether that's speaking or whether it's not speaking, we'll look at that person by person to see what fits best for you. And symmetry is lovely, but it's not relevant to everyone. So we don't need to do a symmetrical ceremony where you say, she says, he says, they say. We don't need to do that. We can have it that you say exactly what you want to say, and the other person knows exactly what you're thinking as well, because they know you if you don't want to say something. There is, of course, your legal declaration to do. So across Scotland, we do need to make a legal declaration, and that is to basically say, in the presence of your witnesses, that you take each other to be lawfully wedded husband or wife. So this is something we need to do, but again, we can limit that down as well. So if you guys don't feel comfortable with doing the repeat after me, so I say it, then you say it, what we can do is I can ask you a question, and we can limit it to you saying, I do. And that's all you need to say on your wedding day. If that's what makes you feel comfortable, then that's what we should do. So for me, it's about looking at you as a person and seeing what you're comfortable with and making sure we try and get to that. And in terms of speaking in the ceremony, let me do it. I'm used to it.
I didn't think about, like, obviously I'm not married, and I did not think about the fact that you could have a ceremony not symmetrical. In my head, I was like, if you do personal vows, they do personal vows.
Yeah.
So it's actually so lovely that you like put that thought into someone's head. And I love how you when you talk to your clients as person by person rather than as a couple, because you are two different people, which is amazing. I did not think about that.
What is your favourite part about taking ceremonies?
Obviously, not every couple does a processional or like a kind of aisle walking. You know, it's not for everyone. But there's this amazing moment. See, when you're standing with someone, you stand with a bride or groom at the front, and you see their partner just starting to come down the aisle. Just at the end, you see them, and when you're right there with somebody when that happens, it's just like it is the loveliest thing. And I'm a big soppy so I just can't get enough of it. It's great.
As you answered each of them, I'm like, oh, that's such a good moment. That's such a good moment. I love that one too. I really like that one. I'm like, take you back to weddings. So, Rachel, obviously we're all in some scary times right now, but we just want to check in. How are you doing with coping with COVID-19?
Well, personally, I can attest to Kraken as being a great coping method for COVID-19. So that's what personally in the life of Rachel Middleton. But business-wise, what I'm trying to do is just be there for my couples as much as possible. I'm trying to answer my phone and answer the emails as fast as I possibly can, because I know that dates are the kicker. Dates at venues is the big thing that we need to just make sure we can try and work around. Venues have got limited availability, and you guys need to know as quick as possible. So for me, I'm just trying to answer those emails as much as possible. I'm also trying to offer, I don't know, a little bit of advice. I don't even know if it's advice or guidance or what I think it might be, but from my heart to my couples and to everyone who's having to reschedule their wedding at the moment, it's not fair that you have to make these compromises. It's not fair, and you don't deserve it, and you should be able to have the exact wedding that you chose and that you dreamed of and that you planned. What I'm sort of suggesting to my couples is try to make as little compromises as you can on your big day, and date and time of ceremony and where you're getting married, all of these things are huge, and they're things that you carefully chose. So what we want to try and do is make sure you get exactly what you wanted as much as possible. For me, I'm telling all my couples, please don't work around me, don't work around my schedule, because I want you to have the best day possible, and I don't want you to go from a Saturday in May to a Tuesday in January. I don't want that for you. I want you to have the best day possible, and I will help you find someone who's perfect for you. So for me, it's about trying to get brides and grooms to really look at what they want on their wedding day. And there is this silver linings to this. It might not seem like it. It might seem like it's super negative right now. But what I'm finding is when I'm speaking to my couples, what they're really telling me is all the things they absolutely would not compromise on. The things that are so important to their day that they have to have them. So when I got married, I definitely went to wedding fairs like a magpie. Bling, bling, I'm having all of this. Let's have all of these things. But actually, did they really matter to me? But what brides and grooms and couples are having at the moment is they're having to have those conversations of what really matters and what's really important to us and what's important to our big day. So when we get to your day, every single part of it is going to be something that really, really matters. And I don't think any other couples or brides and grooms from any other years could say that. I really don't, because there's always these we add on because it's nice to have, but your weddings are going to be absolutely everything that you could not possibly compromise on, which is going to make for a pretty amazing day. So for me, working in COVID is kind of trying to look at all the positives, all of the silver linings. I've lost some couples that I'm absolutely devastated about, and I'm just so gutted that I won't be able to see them on day. I won't be able to see the girls in their dresses, and I won't be able to see the way they look at each other. I won't be there for all the things that they're doing, and that is really sad to me. But for them to have the perfect day on a date that matters to them means everything. So for me, it's about working with you, working with your dates, working with what dates you're being offered to get you the best date and the best day possible. So definitely with a lot of this in the diary, we'll get through. And roll on 2021 is all I can say. Right.
Woo! Go 21.
It's so nice to hear such a positive and caring attitude towards business as COVID-19. Me and Cheryl have been trying our absolute best to keep our couples, like yourself, our couple's best interest at that point. And if that does mean losing us because they can't get a date, but they get the Saturday in May that they want, then that's incredible. It's so nice to know that you're putting that out into the world, because I feel like we need to all care for each other. Everyone's creating sacrifices right now, but yeah, we're all going to get there, and as we said, we're all going to be grateful, and it's going to be some hell of a party. So
aye, totally. I can't wait till the first weddings. I'll be buzzing.
Bye, thank you, Alan. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
So it was lovely to speak to you today, Rachel. I absolutely loved it, and I'm sure Heather did too. And we hope you take care in this time period, and we'll see you soon at the next wedding, hopefully.
Yes, I can't wait. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Nice to see you. Bye.
George, it was so lovely having you today on our Zoom call, and I'm sure this video will come in really, really useful to loads of other future couples and previous couples.
Thank you so much for having me, Heather and Cheryl. It's been an absolute privilege to be included in this little series. Thank you.
Bye. Right, see you later. Bye. That's it for this video, guys. We really hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about Humanist and Celebrant wedding ceremonies.
If you have any other subject for us to cover on our YouTube channel, then please write it down in the comments below.
If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up so that we know to keep making videos just like this.
And lastly, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for
watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Picking up jobbies. It's great. Nothing better.
That is life.
So what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? At least I'm picking up jobbies and I've got a dog. I would be strange.
Yeah. We're picking up jobbies.
Just with bags. Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm in here like, hi, and then I was like, why am I not in there? Why am I not on the screen? It's so thick.
That was better.
Is it
If you go closer, Cheryl.
Your volume's not great, Cheryl.
I know.
Go a wee bit closer.
Here?
Yes.
Good morning, good morning.
Hi there, see all of you guys at the same time.
At the top right, there's like a speaker view, and then there's a gallery view. It's just if you...
Why does this keep happening to me? I'll take that off.
Like, it's the Maggie show every week. She's just like... She's a creeper.
I really pictured you there, Cheryl. I was like, you will be my wife.
Do you know why I've got oops as my name?
I know,
Probably I
I
should
should
change that. Well, horrendous reason, by the way. So we've been doing a Zoom quiz with my pals every single Saturday night, and we do the quiz, and then after the quiz it gets a bit crazy.
Maybe turn your see the little volume bit up on the. Yeah, it's much better. It's
I'm glad that it put your names below it, because I was like that, man.
What are their names?
Which one's Cheryl?
Who's who? We've actually had
Everyone
wedding
gets
clients
it.
like call us wrong names before, to be honest. So don't
Aye.
stress. You're fine.